soon.
But what do you guys say to the people who say, listen, if maybe we made a mistake in going in there because there were no weapons of mass destruction, but, whatever, it was a mistake because, we went on the false pretenses, no weapons of mass destruction. But wait, what about the people who will tell you now, listen, we can't get out now because there'll be genocide. Iran will come in and take over Iraq. All kinds of sectarian violence.
What do we have already?
We can fall back to a point because, like I said again, when we can still contain them. We're not gonna govern them. That's out of the picture. We can fall back, contain them. We can keep our Iran at bay. We can. I believe we have the military might to do so. But as far as Iraq goes, it's a civil war now. We're gonna have to sit back and see what happens, and we need to get our guys out of there.
I think you're hitting something, and it really almost goes back to your conflict, and that is the Kurds run their own show now. I don't care. You can say there's a federal government. The Shia, the no-fly zone was actually not by accident. It basically separated the Shia from the major Sunni from the Kurdish regions, with some overplay on either side. When Cleland and Kerry proposed a three-nation concept, they shut it down after they got so much crap from the major media that was ridiculous, that this nation had a right to exist for democracy. This nation is the figment of the British Empire's imagination. It was forced by the British. It needs territorial, ethnic concerns have never been part of this discussion. And the Kurds they're running their own government right now. We can go give them guns, that's nice. Sure, give us more guns. But we're running our show, and we will deal with our own oil reserves. Thank you very much. We're happy with what we got. And the Shia, actually, are going to end up controlling the whole show unless we can convince.
They already do.
Who's happy with the reserves? Who's happy with the reserves?
The Kurds. The Kurds got their own thing going.
I thought
they got their own thing going.
Yeah, it's between the Sunnis.
We make a big deal out of Turkey versus Kurds. They've got a pipeline that they share.
They're the ones up in the north.
That will never be quenched for fossil fuels. We love it. We swim in it. We'll never go away from fossil fuels in my lifetime anyway. That's my opinion. And so, well, in the United States, we're going to continue to do whatever it takes to obtain other countries,
regardless of how many our young people.
That's the name of the game.
We cost.
And like he mentioned about the Kurds, right? I was watching one day on World News Tonight, and they had a segment on the Kurds who control up north. And when I was watching it, I saw that everybody that lives in that part of the region from the no-fly zone on up, which are the Kurds, all of them, they were walking the streets and it's like nothing ever happened, like they never had a war. While the southern part of the nation is where you see all the bombings and people are walking around shopping, like if they were here or in another nation.
And the surge. Here's the other thing: the falsity of the surge is most of the surge took part in Anbar province. So every time the White House speaks, they talk about how the insurgents have been beaten in Anbar province. They all moved to Diyala province. The death rate has gone sky high there. But we pulled back Marines from that region and reinforced the entire Anbar region, which Fallujah and all that. And the insurgents just moved to another part of the country because they've got total mobility, and we cannot control that.
All right, let me play devil's advocate here because I probably agree with you guys, but I have to present the other side since the other side doesn't seem to be represented here.
Well, then you shouldn't say probably.
So let me say this. We see on television a lot of soldiers in Iraq nowadays who say, listen, we're doing a job here. We really need to stick it out. We think we can win this war. We need the American people to support us. What do you say to that?
I say we do support them. And that's coming from a soldier. You're a soldier. You're not gonna retreat. That we're not trained that way. That's not our mentality. Our mentality is to go in. We go in and we win. We're Americans. We're the best fighting force on the face of the planet.
So that's the mentality there.
That's our mentality. But the laws and the people who govern us, the flaw is there.
But another thing, besides that mentality, you also get from your superiors, which they can tell you. Anytime, let's say, for instance, like you're gonna be interviewed, let's say, like on TV, like we are being now, or somebody, you cannot say anything
Also, they sort of coach you when you're going to talk to the media, and they tell you this.
Or you
Yes.
say what you think your mother wants to
what you
hear,
do.
which is your community wants to hear that you're okay. And if you think they want to hear that I'm here and we're doing the right thing, if that's what you think. In Vietnam, when I was really down on the war,
Now-
I'd still say, yes, we're here doing the right thing. Just
You
put
know
a
what?
mic in
I
someone's
wouldn't.
face.
I
You're gonna get their
wouldn't.
response.
I would tell it
You're
like
an
it
honest
is.
man, then.
I
You're
tell
totally
it like it
honest.
is. But
Yeah.
now is that the soldier telling it like it is, or is that the media showing that segment of people who agree with the war or who agree that they
Go to
did?
YouTube.
No,
Go to YouTube.
because I mean, if you say something on camera that they don't want you to say, you know, obviously it's going to be edited. I mean,
Right.
that's
Exactly.
common
Yeah.
sense. I mean, when was it? 2-3 years ago, I think it was a lieutenant that had made, you know, a negative statement, and they spent the next week or so trying to clean it up. I mean, they re-interviewed the guy, but you know, naturally it comes out to that famous saying, "I was misquoted."
Yeah.
I mean, that gets away with everything, you know, whether it's a newspaper, a camera, whatever. You know,
And he was-
misquoted generally, you know, brings the swelling down.
Yeah.
And he was hardly reprimanded.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, and you don't see that on camera.
One tour.
Right.
One tour.
So,
He's
so what you're telling me is that these guys who are there saying these things now, when they come home, maybe 6 months from now, I can have them on this show, and they will say to me exactly the
There's
opposite.
no all
I don't-
anything. We're all four of us have a different feeling about what we
Exactly. It's an
participate in. So you
opinion. It's
really, in
everyone's
honesty,
opinion.
are going to get four different
You
opinions.
will. You will get 4 different opinions. I agree with that.
But what you get with the mic in the face generally
Exactly.
is what you think your people back home want to hear.
And you don't want to be
Except
at
for-
war and say,
Oh,
I
no.
want to get out of here.
Yeah.
Please
Well,
get me out.
yeah.
Mom, help
Yeah.
me.
If
you
you
don't wanna-
interview me and I tell you how it is, will you put my interview on
Yeah,
the news that
yeah.
night? Well, you know what? I don't think we should put this guy on the news. Let's put this guy that's happy to be here. What's your name again?
Yeah.
You don't want to be the one to.
Yeah, you're gonna
Call
one that's
something
going
and
to show the positive side of everything. You know, I mean, I don't think any soldier, you know, after a while of being home and speaking with fellow vets and things like that, are going to turn around ever and say, you know, I'm ashamed of my service. You know, everybody's proud of their service.
Right.
You know,
That is
but
correct.
it takes a while, and for some, longer than others, to adjust. You know, and you know, that's another aspect of one of the things that I do in filing claims as a